Welcome to another episode of Engineered for Everywhere Audio. I'm your host, Mark Sarge Schleifer. This is brought to you by, of course, Memphis Audio, memphiscaraudio.com. Be sure to check us out online. Definitely, we're an audio company that's been in business, as I've brought up many times, since 1965, and we have solutions for all sorts of different vehicles out there, but we're really not talking about that today. What we're talking about today is some of the things that we like to get involved in, some of the things we like to make sure that we partner up with, so we can make sure that we have the ability to continue to go out and go riding and enjoy the different areas and things of that nature. So with that being said, I am here with Matt Caldwell. Matt, how are you today?
I'm doing great, man.
You're awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Matt is actually with an organization which is an absolutely awesome organization. It's called Tread Lightly. And if those of you don't know who Tread Lightly is, you need to make sure you look it up. Go to treadlightly.org.
You got it.
Awesome. Check them out. They're definitely a great organization, and what they're doing is that they're the folks that are out there, lobbying to make sure that they keep the trails open for us so we can go riding in our UTVs, our Jeeps, our motorcycles, things of that nature, because there is a lot of stuff going on right now where those things are getting shut down. So he's part of this group that is, like I say, definitely a phenomenal cause. I'm going to let him talk about it. So give us a little bit of heads up. Tell us, give us like the 10,000 foot overview of Tread Lightly and what they do and why it's so important. Especially if you are an off-roader and you're not involved in this group, you need to be involved.
Yeah, if you're an off-roader and you're not familiar with Tread Lightly, you need to be.
You're under a rock if you don't.
That's really the easiest way to put it. So, our goal is to, like you said, keep trails open for motorized recreation use all over the country. What's really interesting, and a lot of people don't know, we were originally established by the Forest Service.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
So we were established by the Forest Service 38 years ago now. About the time the ATVs were really exploding on the scene, and the Forest Service knew there was going to be impact for motorized recreation. So they created Tread Lightly with three real focuses. One was education, make sure people are being respectful and responsible out on the trails. Number two is help with communication, whether that's signage at trailheads, whether that's interaction with events, etc. And then three was to do what we call stewardship. And I think you might ask me a little bit of a question.
Well, yes,
about that
we
later,
will definitely ask that question here in a couple minutes.
We've had that conversation already. But we were broken off after 5 years with the Forest Service into a 501c3 nonprofit. We're based in Salt Lake City, Utah. We've operated for 33 years now as a nonprofit. And, again, the simplest way I can put it is we're here to protect the fun for everybody and make sure that we've got the trails that we enjoy to go out in our vehicles and have fun on.
And that's all. And I love that. Protect the fun, because ultimately at the end of the day, that is what it is about. We go out, we enjoy the trails, we love to go riding, things of that nature. And, your group is all about protecting the fun and, protecting the ecosystem in regards to what these machines and what these recreational vehicles do out there to the terrain. And let's face it, there's a lot of different groups, a lot of different, whatever you want to call them, that would love to shut all this down. And I don't want to be negative against them because that's not what this is about. But I mean, let's face it, there is just a lot of controversy. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of things that are going on out there right now that some of you might not know about, but people are trying to lobby to shut a lot of this stuff down because they don't want it, because of the way people are riding, what they're doing out there, going off trails, the noise that the machines make and things of that nature. And that kind of, with that being said, the noise, I'm going to kind of lead in a little bit because some people are going to wonder, they're going to go, okay, well, Memphis Audio, why did you get involved? I've been in the audio business for audio industry for almost 30 years. I love it. I'm a huge fan of audio, music, everything that it has to offer, I'm a big fan. I'm also a big fan of off-roading. I have an off-road race truck. I have a Class 7 SX truck. I have a UTV. I think I'm on my 4th one now. I've had everything from an Arctic Cat to a Razor to an X3. I've got a Polaris General right now. I'm a Jeeper. I have a Rubicon Jeep with an LS2 in it, you know? So, I mean, I am an off-roader, and I love to go out there. And one of the things that I have noticed a lot within the audio world, this is actually creating an issue and challenges out there as well, because people will go out on the trails, in the campgrounds, riding through neighborhoods to get to different trails, things of that nature, and they have the volume on their radios absolutely pegged out. And don't get me wrong, I love music just like everybody else, but just like everything in life, there's a time and a place for everything and how you do it. And we need to make sure that we're responsible about that, because that is also affecting what's going on in regards to what the BLM is doing, what other organizations are doing, where the finger's getting pointed. Because I'll be honest with you, folks, it isn't just that they're out there going, oh, it's UTVs and Jeeps and motorcycles that are going off trail or making ruts and all this. Volume is also something that's being talked about. And if you folks think I am not correct about that, there used to be a great event up in Moab, Utah called Rally on the Rocks, and that event is no more. And if you look into the research in regards to part of why that got shut down, is because the townspeople did not, quote, want the noise.
Yeah.
You know, so protecting the fun and listening responsibly, you know, that's our deal, and that is why we partnered up with, you know, Tread Lightly. You know, I have a big passion, like I said, for audio and off-road, and I definitely, you know, want to, you know, protect the fun so I can continue to ride for many, many years down the road. And with that being said, you know, we've got to learn to also listen responsibly so we don't have those things that are, you know, thrown up at us. So, you know, we did bring up a little bit earlier about stewardship.
Yeah.
You know, that's a word that gets brought up a lot. So explain that.
Yeah, so we are a little bit different than some of the land use organizations out there, and like everybody might not be familiar with land use, but it's exactly what Sarge was just talking about. It's our ability to keep using the land, you know, to ride on for motorized recreation. So, you know, there's some organizations that are out there, they're lobbying, they're working with their local politicians, they're working with their legislature, they're working on litigation to keep those trails open. What we have done is we take a little bit different approach. We recognize that those groups are out there. We respect those groups and know they have a role and a job to play. We're trying to change actions and attitudes, because if we don't change actions and attitudes, we'll be lobbying forever. It's going to be a continual
Well, you
fight.
can't just look the other way.
Correct.
Because if you look the other way, then guess what? They're going to continue to go the direction they're going to go. You can't ignore it. If you ignore it, guess what? It's going to continue to fester and grow.
You got it. So stewardship, I'm going to lead into stewardship by giving you this kind of comparison. So I've had people ask me, they're like, are you an environmentalist? Are you a conservationist? You know, what are you? So I draw kind of a difference in two words. There's preservation, or you know, you're going to preserve something. The way you preserve something is by not using it. Then there's conservation, which is we're going to use it, but we're going to use it properly, and we're going to take care of it, and we're going to steward it and make sure that we're giving back to this land that's given us all of this. So stewardship for us is project work. It's actually boots on the ground, people on the ground, giving back to public lands and doing positive work on the trail systems. So that might be everything from picking up trash. Last year, we picked up 330,000 pounds of trash.
Oh, my Lord. That is huge.
That's crazy, but it's something that needs to be done.
Yes,
and
it's a responsible thing to do.
Correct. We do a lot of signage work. You know, a lot of times the signage isn't correct out on the trail systems, or it's missing, or it's disappeared some way or another. And, you know, we'll do signage work because, like you said, driving off trail is an issue. So if there's not the signage there that tells us where we're supposed to be going, all of a sudden somebody drives off trails, and then somebody who's opposed to motorized recreation they've got ammunition, and that gets brought up.
Right.
So fencing work, signage work, sometimes we're actually repairing trails or we're reopening trails. A couple years ago, we had a trail in Colorado that had been hit by avalanche. We actually went in and cleared all of the trees off of it that had been covered because of the avalanche and got the trail open back up. So that's stewardship to us. I use the example a lot of time. If you remember, years ago, there was the Amex commercial where it talked about membership had privilege.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we say membership might have privilege, but ownership has responsibility. So a lot of people I talk to like to tell me, hey, it's public land, I own it. I'm a taxpayer, I own it. Cool, great, I agree with you, but that means you have a responsibility to help take care of that, and steward the land that we're able to ride on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I say, it's a great organization. We're really proud to be a part of it and do our part. And you'll find Tread Lightly out at all the big events. I mean, I know, you're getting ready to go out and do some stuff with your team at King of the Hammers, to make sure that everything is taken care of out there and that it is in better condition than when everybody got out there. I've seen you guys doing stuff for Matt Martelli and the Mint 400, a lot of stuff there. I think you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were doing some stuff too on the Peace Trail, Arizona Peace Trail, some work there. You do a lot of stuff up in Sedona with those trails, but all over the United States. It's not just in the Southwest. There's stuff going on all the way from up in Maine, all the way across the country. You guys have people all over the place. It's a great organization. We are absolutely proud to be a part of it. You want to make sure that you are, protecting the fun, and we want to listen responsibly. And, you're the lead protector, man. You're absolutely the lead protector. I know I appreciate everything that you guys do. We just want to make sure all of you out there, kind of understand a little bit about what's going on and, what's actually at stake and what, people like, Matt at Tread Lightly are doing to make sure that we have the ability to go out and ride on our favorite trails and just have a blast. I really appreciate you being on with us today. And, thank you very much for everything that you do. I'm your host, Mark Sarge Schleifer. This is another episode of Engineered for Everywhere Audio, brought to you by Memphis Car Audio. Make sure you check us out, memphiscaraudio.com. And don't forget, if you are not a member of Tread Lightly, I'm just going to tell you straight up, you need to be. Go to treadlightly.org. Being a member of that group, there's a lot of benefits that come along with it. You will be absolutely overwhelmed when you see how many other companies are involved with this organization. It is a great organization to be a part of. Be a part of it. Do your part. Go out there. Be safe. Respect the trails. Have fun. Until next time, we are out.